What is up, you guys? This is the 7th 2013 movie I've seen, the third one I am reviewing for you guys. Now, I remember a couple years ago watching Ebert and Roper, and they were reviewing one of the Resident Evil movies, and, Roper was talking about how sick he is, getting of the zombie movie kind of genre, and how they could do something kind of different and original, maybe telling the story from the zombies' perspective. Well, Hollywood did that with Warm Bodies. This movie stars Nicholas Hoult, the kid from About a Boy, and he plays one of the zombies that was the outcome of the zombie apocalypse, and how he's just kind of this mumbling droid kind of zombie that does nothing except drone and stumble all over the place and really just has no emotions or feelings at all. Until one day, while trying to eat people, he sees this girl that he falls in love with, and after he saves her, he starts to realize that he's, really falling in love with her, and she's kind of falling in love with him, and actually starts to get a little bit more human. Now, this movie is made by Jonathan Levine, the man behind one of the best movies of 2011, one of my favorite comedies of the new decade, 50/50. Probably actually the best comedy of the new decade. That movie is just so brilliantly written and directed. And since this movie is kind of like a comedy meets sort of drama-ish, I would not call it a dramedy, but, it's comedy meets whatever, horror, I guess. So I did have a lot of faith that he would really mix those two genres completely, very, very well, like he did with 50/50. And I don't think he did that nearly as well with this movie as he did with, 50/50 or any of the other movies. I haven't seen The Whackness, but this still was a really, really good movie. So yeah, you got Nicholas Hoult, like I said, the kid from About a Boy, playing the zombie, and his new lover, played by Teresa Palmer. Their chemistry, is very interesting, especially, just the fact that it's a zombie in love with a real human female, is just very interesting and, at times, very funny. This movie has, supporting performances from people like Rob Corddry, who, plays this, very funny role of, our main character's zombie friend. We also have star on the rise Dave Franco, of course James's brother, and yeah, they're all great. And the humor of this movie, like I said, I mean, there's just a certain amount of likability to this movie, just because the plot, is so good. And it's really just interesting watching, this zombie kind of act the way it does, and us having the sympathy for, our main character who is a zombie. I think that's a really good idea. Now, this movie does have its fair share of flaws. For one thing, one supporting performance I didn't mention is John Malkovich, the biggest actor in this movie. His character, I don't want to give away too much, but his character I thought was pretty stereotypical. I didn't think it was a big problem. But just that role, we've had it in like every single movie about, kind of when we start to have sympathy for, these creatures that are usually villainized in movies. We're always going to have a character in those type of movies, like John Malkovich's one in this. Also, Teresa Palmer, I at times had some problems with her acting. At times I thought she was a little stale. At times I thought, her line delivery wasn't the best. And, although this movie was funny, I thought there could have been a little bit more humor. That there just weren't as many laughs as I thought there should have been or I was expecting. The whole tone of the movie is very, lighthearted and humorous, but there really aren't that many laughs in it. Granted, that thank God this movie doesn't just go for laughs, because that would have been horrible if if it did, and this would be the outcome, just this amount of laughs. But there could have been more. But overall, I did really like Warm Bodies. I suggest you check it out. I'm gonna see Bullet in the Head tomorrow, and this movie is most likely better than that. I don't know, who knows. But yeah, I do recommend you checking it out this weekend. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10, and I will see you guys later.